So this is like a whole held together so that I can transport it easily. Yeah, you would have to. Some man said these are handmade nails. No, that's okay. These are handmade nails? This is well, she just pays one by what I saw. No, but I only ever saw applique done that way. Yeah, I never saw that. Well, I know she was. Did you see that? No, Frances. No, yeah, she's the one. Yeah, the girl. I got to find the other one. Yeah, that's like as I tried. It's really pretty, except for that. Yeah, but that's. Already that's why I choose Quilt on the hot pads and that. These already nice. I can sit there all but I don't even know if it's raining or whatever. What the weather 4 o'clock in the morning? But then I'm ready to go to bed. My best is in the morning. I mean at night, then I'm ready to. Yeah, I know it's one of your daughters.
We need to get this on video. Or did you start quilting?
Oh, anywhere like 3 or 4 o'clock, whatever. But then I go to bed by maybe quarter after 8 or something like that.
This is Frances Schultz, and she quilts mother's quilts for her. A lot of mother's quilts, and she'll work for 8 hours straight.
Oh, every bit of it.
In her basement, she has no clue if it's raining or snowing.
I don't. I realize I have WPGM on, and there's where I'm getting fed spiritually constantly. And if the phone rings, I don't even hear it half the time because it's on my answering machine. And I'm so tuned into WPGM and what I'm doing. I mean, it's really automatic, that part. Get a sheet and a colored top or something. And then I make my own designs.
I see.
She's the one that put that over.
I remember, yeah.
But it's all.
I need to wear those collars on here. I haven't had that happen in years. When you wake up, you're going, oh my goodness.
Wild Indian.
I said, no part, please. I was going to say, and I just hate to take my girls to
That's your bag.
Scraps together from their little scrap bags to make bedding for their families. And these early scrap quilts were sometimes lined filled with grass or corn husk, newspaper, old worn out clothing, old blankets, just anything to add warmth to the good layer. And these were called utility quilts. They were very functional. And then as the cotton industry developed, they put cotton batting in between them. And if you were to find any old quilts, and there are very few around, you might even find cotton seeds amongst the cotton batting if you held it up to the light. And then as the cotton industry progressed, and there were mills manufacturing fabric, fabric was able to be imported, we found them going from these utility quilts to fancy quilts. And fancy quilts were quite different in that a homemade novelty. And I know many of you, because I know many of you, I know that you've put together scrap tops from the scraps you have from your sewing. And one of the novelty things that ladies do today is they'll take their daughter's dresses from when she grew up and they'll make a top from her dresses. And it's always fun to go back and identify Grandma's apron or Johnny's pajamas or that sort of thing. So it's gone from necessity to novelty, and that's what you see today. The one thing that you have to be careful is it's very, a scrap craft quilts are very innocent. In fact, they start out that way, but all of a sudden they're very addictive. And you may have to find yourself warning your family what is taking place, because you may have to put something like this up at your home. Quilt forever, housework whenever. Or you might have to put one like this near the kitchen. It says, warning, the Surgeon General has determined that quilting is less harmful to the eyes than reading books. So you might have to warn your family, because you can get carried away and it can be very addictive. Just for that brief introduction before I go into the standard machine, so we're going to be talking about piece. And applique is when you put another piece on level of control. And this is where you're controlling the type of fabric, whether it be stripe, plaid, geometric, check, large print, small calico. That's what I mean by type of fabric. So I control the type of fabric, and I also controlled another element, and that was the contrast. There was tempered chlorine. So if you want to get the antique look, you just throw in everything, but make sure you have the contrast, make sure you use every kind of print, and she had a squint at it. So all of you squint. Squint at it. And you're going to see, you see a blotch of light there, blotch of light there. And she said, if you can't see the seam when you squint, then don't bother sewing two pieces of material together. She wanted nothing to blend. But because this was my first attempt at this, I was not used to doing that. I was used to making sure things look nice together. A craft quilt, which will be the next one. You see? Okay, this one is a sampler quilt, and it isn't very attractive off the bed, but on the bed it looks much nicer. But here again, the scraps are controlled to the highest level, including the color and the contrast and the type of fabric. This, by the way, is a skirt that I made of one of our daughters that she didn't want anymore. It was fun to take a skirt apart. I know you're all sewers. That's a sample. Each block is a sample of a different design.
Now, get back.
This is what we call set on point. The rows go across so that this is on point. So that's a set called set on point. But the heart is still the same part in both of them. And it's high control because you have blue, browns, or white. But the quilt was so expensive, I knew I wasn't going to buy it. So I drew it on paper. This material right here was very hard to find. What is smelling out? The original quilt that I think is turkey red, one of the colors
What do you want?
and I waited a long while to do that quilt, and I found what I thought was turkey red. I wanted to write I couldn't enter it. But this particular fabric right here, this one right here in the corner, this right here, was a large cotton blouse I found at a yard sale. It was just perfect. I used almost all of it. What did I get into? That's all she had.